Evening all. So here we go. This is the Rumble of the Darkstars. We've got the Unholy Legion of Darkstar versus Darkstar Mercs. And we'll go through who and where and what in just a moment. Now, I'm actually fighting on the side of the Darkstar Mercs. This was a bit of a test to see if we could join other people's court battles, and weirdly enough, I'm now shooting my own guys, and I must say I'm doing it with a wry smile on my face as I do it. So this was part one. Round one, there was no holds barred, pretty much anything was okay. We just said generally don't do tanks because there's no point in kind of spamming tanks. Let's just have an infantry battle. But dropships and levies are fine. It's just, let's not turn it into a tank thing. And it got off pretty well. So we've got Darkstar Mercs. Now let's just introduce them as a corp. They're a Finnish corp, and they've got a strong kind of grounding in Eve, and they're obviously giving dust to go. And they contacted us. They just sent me an email on the SquadB meet@gmail.com. And they just introduced and said hello, would we like to have a fight? So here we are, a few weeks stroke days later, shooting each other and having fun. Now again, we've had to kind of jig the teams a little bit because at the time Darkstar Mercs could only get 6 on, so I said, if possible I'll fight on their side, and we'd kind of even up the numbers for the next round 2 as well. But round 1 was pretty much no holds barred, so anything was good in terms of weapons, fits, suits, etc. And it got off to an interesting start. Now we certainly had the MCC battle going our way. Then we pretty much lost C, and C here, as you can see, is actually A on the major skirmish, but that point C below, as you see there, that one was pretty much where the battle was fought. And really we were just trying to capture that back, and it became a kind of real to and fro battle really. So again, the guys did really well. There's some huge amount of defending here. There's also, I think the attackers did well as well. So it was a really good again, I would stress court battles are really good for practice. As you've seen, I'm sure, with the development blog, the nature of dust is going to change. It's not just going to be Halo in space, although it is in space, you know what I mean. It's actually going to be I guess an RTS to a degree, or an RPG, whatever you want to call it, because we are going to have soon the ability to conquer planets and territory on planets, and you're going to have to start to defend territory. So those of us from Eve, this is all sounding terribly familiar, isn't it? So you're basically going to build your empire from the ground up now, which is phenomenally awesome. So looking forward to it. So these court battles are going to turn into attack and defend style battles. So I would probably urge everyone to start really getting familiar with the mechanics of corp battles. I'm sure the whole particulars will change, so the number of points, the length of the maps, all of that I'm sure will maybe change, but the reality is that you're going to be able to have 16 people on each side, and you're going to be fighting pretty much as a team. So I would say it's not necessarily the best equipped group that are going to win. It's going to be the guys who, and again, this is all true of Eve, it's not the people with the most expensive ships, it's the people with the most dedication. Okay, so there is a high likelihood that even people with militia gear, if they keep bringing it and they keep coming, they could eventually win. So I don't know, let's see. I mean, I think if it's down to you have one battle, that's it, whoever wins that battle gets the planet for a week, then yeah, that's a totally different mechanic. However, if it's freeform, I can attack you whenever I want, we're going to have a really interesting thing where people are going to Zerg rush planets. Okay. Also, how do you then dictate a time zone to defend? How do you dictate a time zone to attack? And etc. So I think it's going to be particularly awesome. I would probably stress once more, if you do not play in a corp, or if you do not play in a group, you're going to miss out on all this. So get yourself in a corp. We've had a few people contact me today saying, what's your entry requirements and can I join your corp? Yes, just apply and you'll be let in. Seriously, it's as simple as that. We don't have any other recruitment particulars or anything. Just join the corp and you're in. So there we go, round 1 defeat, and this was Darkstar Mercs, and that's the team I was on. We lost, giving the win to the Unholy Legion of Darkstar, which is my corp, and already I'm confused. So there we go, 1-0. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit more interesting. Round 2 was militia gear only, and this was something we said, no tanks, militia gear and starter fits only, okay? And in this time, again, we've got a full team of the Unholy Legion from our corp, and this time we've now got myself and Eddie Rio fighting with the Darkstar Mercs, so it's 8v8, and in theory, it certainly began this way, we agreed all militia fits all round, okay? So this was going to be more of a fight of skill. So here we go. Now, again, what fits I was running here was just simply the medic and the frontline fit. I had things like drop pads, so I was actually using the drop pad BPO, which I guess is militia, you know, starter fit stuff. If you disagree, tough, I don't care. I used it. But we said, you know, equipment was fine, and you know, we just said modules, don't use anything prototype, don't use anything really high. It should really just be general starter fits, general, you know, low level equipment. Just because you get more of the tactic and the team play. Now, again, what I would say, there was a marked improvement here from our team. So this was Darkstar Mercs, Eddie and I. There was a marked improvement in terms of the way that we fought. We all stuck together, and we actually repelled what was a phenomenally aggressive attack from Darkstar TUL. So it was actually a really tense beginning of this match, because it was pretty much a fight to see who could dominate that third control point, and we were just about holding on, and again, I think this maybe comes down to something, you know, that we could, you know, discuss quite at length, is, you know, what makes the player. Is it the modules, is it the suits, is it the skill? And I think it's probably a mixture of all, and I think when you do militia only battles, it really is more of a kind of you know, kind of 50-50 flip a coin who's going to win the gunfight. The skill does come into it, don't get me wrong, but I think you know, it's reduced in its scope somewhat, or rather, sorry, the fitting is reduced in its scope somewhat. But again, look at this dude, look at that, he threw a locust grenade and just blam, hit me right square on D-Money, you are a star. And I think this is really the joy of doing corp battles, is I'm actually fighting my own guys, and yeah, it's difficult, and that's really making me feel good, because even though I'm getting my ass kicked, but we're also kicking their ass, I think it was a real testament to how far I feel that people, not just my corp, but I feel how far I think a lot of players are coming. Certainly where beta was, but I think also where people are today. People are getting really good at playing this game, and it's just familiarity, it's skill points, it's everything, and I think it was really cool. Now, somebody decided to break the rules, so naturally when people break rules, we have to teach the fools basic rules. So you know, Rosethorn, you're a naughty chap, he bought in a tank, so naturally he was trolling us, so we decided to blow up his tank. And then pretty much I just said to our team, right, if they're gonna cheat, bring it on. Now look at that, I just missed the kill, just like fractions of a second missed that kill. But I think by this point I just said, right, that's it, calling in my tank, gun logi time. And we just really went for it. And I said to the guys, just use whatever guns you want. They've kind of broken the pact, the agreement that was written in stone has been smashed, therefore we shall annihilate them. And at this point as well, they were pretty much being redlined. As you can see, we were winning the MCC battle, and again I saw that there was this second tank. Now this is actually the second tank that Rose called in, and I had my anti-tank fit, so obviously I was able to blap him. Now again, you can probably appreciate there is a massive amount of lag going on, and while it's recording in relative peace, I pretty much didn't realise I'd even lost my tank at that point, so that was pretty narked in that. But hey, that's corp battles, you know. Unfortunately, if you bring this stuff in, it's going to be lost generally, and I think this is certainly something to bear in mind, because you do not earn a single penny of skill point or risk from corp battle, obviously except the wager. In this case, we were fighting for 100k ISK, so it was a bit amusing, really. We were basically fighting for nothing. But again, just really great, I think, test bed. Again, I think if you're not doing court battles, you should. You're missing out, because there's something quite liberating. You have a lot of tensions in larger corps. Okay, a lot of people get pissed off with other people. You know, the biggest thing we have at the moment is comms. We do not have discipline on comms, so somebody will start like talking to their mate, or they'll start, I don't know, doing whatever, and then all of a sudden comms just goes completely out the window. So that really annoys a lot of people, and this is why court battles are good, because it gives you an opportunity to let off some steam, to fight someone and really get it. Now the thing is, at the end of this battle, quite a few of our team are really annoyed that the accord had been broken, but even though it was us TUL that did it, not Darkstar Mercs, we broke the rules, not them. You know, I think a lot of people are actually quite annoyed. So I think court battles do have their pros and cons, but I would say it did vent steam, and I think it did the corp a lot of good. So again, if you're going to do court battles, and I highly recommend you do, then, you know, I think they have a lot of hidden benefits, and I think it's worth doing. So there we go. So this time round, Darkstar Mercs won, my team, and we got a victory there. So obviously you can see a good amount of kills either side. So I think again it was an even match. I think we just maybe got the upper ground at the start. So what does that leave us with? Well, obviously you don't need to be a major in maths. 1-1, and that was a pretty good court battle. So naturally, next week, the decider, and we'll bring you that battle. And I think we'll certainly see how that goes. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. That was yet another court battle. See you next time.